Hi, my name is Dr. Tim Moore, and what I want to do, I want to tackle an important subject today, and that is the Bible's evidence for manuscripts and the Quran's uh, uh, evidence for manuscripts. I think this is important for this reason. Both Christians and Muslims see their holy texts as inerrant. Okay, so I want us to look at that and look to the evidence. So I'm going to offer some evidence, and I would invite you to examine that evidence. And certainly, those who disagree, feel free to comment, and we can kind of have a dialogue about the evidence here. So, Christianity is an historic faith just like Islam. And so, at its core, it asserts that God has acted decisively in human history, culminating in the life and death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. This means that the historical reliability of the Bible is not a peripheral issue. It is central to the credibility of the Christian gospel. So this is very important to Christians. Similarly, it is also important to Muslims because they claim divine revelation in the Quran, asserting that the Bible, specifically the Torah and the Gospels, was initially true but was later corrupted, thus understanding the manuscript transmission and others were essential for evaluating this completing truth claim. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to look at both uh, uh, sources of evidence, examine them, and see what we find. Now, I'm going to be coming from a Christian's perspective. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give supporting evidence for the Bible and evidence that goes against the Islamic claim. Okay? So, I would invite you then to test what I say. Uh, uh, don't take it for granted. Test what I say, and be open to what the evidence would suggest. So the Bible has what Dan Wallace of Dallas Theological Seminary says, an embarrassment of riches. We have 5,800 complete or fragmented Greek New Testament manuscripts that have been cataloged, plus over 10,000 Latin manuscripts and 9,300 manuscripts in ancient languages. So you can put that all together and decipher that, what we have is reflective of the original manuscript. Now, some fragments, like P52, and this is how they code them, in the John Ryland papyrus, and this was AD 125, are within one generation of the apostolic authors. And so that is important there. And so that tells us that full codices like the Codex Vaticanus and the Codex Sinaiticus date to the early 4th century, within 300 years of the original composition, an astonishing proximity of ancient standards. And the evidence we have for the Bible is overwhelmingly more than any other document in history. So that's important. Of course, the geographical spread. Manuscripts come across from across the Roman Empire, Egypt and Palestine, Asia Minor and Europe, which prevents the possibility of a localized corruption. And even the early church fathers, quotations from early Christian writers like the Clement of Rome, Ignatius, Polycarp, Justin Martyr, allow us to reconstruct virtually the entire New Testament just from their writings that took place between 150 and 200 AD. Scholars estimate that 99.5% of the original New Testament can be reconstructed with certainty. And that's according to Metzger and Ehrman. No variants affect a single major Christian doctrine. From the Old Testament, the Dead Sea Scrolls dating between 250 BC to AD 70 revealed astonishing consistency between Isaiah's scrolls found in the Qur'an and the later Masoretic text used today, confirming that the text was carefully preserved over centuries. And of course, this is very important for apologetics, and Christianity invites scrutiny. The scriptures are open for critical evaluation. Now, what about the Quranic manuscript tradition? Now, Muslim apologists claim that the Quran we have today is letter for letter identical to the revelation given to Muhammad between 610 and 632 AD. It is portrayed as miraculously preserved document, unchanged over 1,400 years. However, I think the evidence points to the contrary. It reveals a complex, fluid, and human-driven process of textual standardization and revision. Okay, let me give an example. They were discovered in the Great Mosque of Sana'a in Yemen in 1972. This manuscript features a lower erased text and an upper text. Carbon dating places it in between 25 and 75 years after Muhammad's death. The lower text contains significant textual differences from the standard Quran that we have today, including variances in paraphrasing, missing verses, and different surah orders. Some suggest that it represents a pre-Uthmanic textual tradition. Now, Uthman is said to establish what was the authentic Quran, okay? And meaning that the Quran had not yet been finalized when Uthman standardized it. And we also have evidence from the codices Ibn Masud and Ibn Ka'b. Masud, who was a close companion of Muhammad, refused to accept Uthman's standardized text, asserting that this version was more accurate. His codex omitted Surah 1, which is very important to Muslims, the Al-Fatiha, and the last two surahs, 113 and 114, which are considered essential in today's Quran. Ibn Ka'b codex included additional surahs not found in the standardized Quran. These codices show that significant variant traditions existed among early Muslims. Okay, so by the 18th century, Islamic scholars recognized that multiple accepted readings, the Qur'at of the Quran, existed. Today, there are 10 canonical readings recognized by Islamic scholars. These readings differ in vowels, consonant skeletons, and verse divisions and phrasing. For example, in Surah 2:222, one Qur'at reads God loves those who purify themselves, while another reads, God loves those who are purified. This shifts the focus from human effort to divine action. Another early manuscript, early in the 8th century, found in Paris, also displays textual variants compared to the modern House version. Importantly, it supports the idea that the Quranic text was not rightly fixed in the 1st century of Islam. Islamic Hadith collections also recognize the issue of multiple readings. Muhammad allegedly said the Quran was revealed in 7 arafs or modes, Sahih al-Bukhari 4992, and Sahih Muslim 818a. These modes remain deeply debated among Islamic scholars, whether they refer to dialects, textual variants, or something else. The 7 Arabs tradition show an earlier acknowledgement that the Quran's recitation varied, even among Muhammad's followers. Later Islamic rulers and scholars undertook significant efforts to stabilize the text, culminating in today's standard versions. So this is the evidence that I would present. I would encourage you to look at the evidence yourself and decide which view reflects the most accurate evidence. Thank you.